Hello everyone, I'm Professor Hu from the University of Johannesburg. In this video, we are going to continue the discussion of the theory of Zangxiang. In the previous video, we introduced that the Zangxiang theory separates our internal organs into Zang organs and Fu organs. So from this video, we are going to study the Zang organs. There are 5 Zang organs, which are the heart, spleen, kidney, liver, and the lung. The Zang organs, they serve to transform and store essence of the body. The characteristics of these Zang organs is they need to store without discharging. So this is different from Fu organs. Fu organs, they need to discharge, they don't store. Once they store, is the function. When the function does not function well, they become pathological condition. Since Zang organs, if the Zang organs lose the function of storing, then we got deficiency. In patients, we can see fatigue. They can have a kidney deficiency, spleen deficiency, lung deficiency, and the associated symptoms. And these, when we study the diagnostics, we will study further. So that's also why Zang organs, they're more likely to have deficiency because they need to store. They won't have too much, but just because the characteristic of Zang organs, they need to store essence and qi. So you won't have too much there, but for Fu organs, and are more likely to have excess. The 5 Zang organs also to regulate thoughts and emotions. So these are the combination of different organs. When we study further, we can expand more in detail. Firstly, the heart. The heart sits in a. So when you study the theory, you need to understand that the organs in Chinese medicine is not only the physical organ, which means from anatomy point of view. It includes the anatomy and the functions. So when we study the heart, don't only focus on the physical heart, but also the functions. Although we emphasize the functions of the heart or the internal organs, it does include the physical organ. That's why we still need to understand the location in the chest, above the diaphragm, and also the pericardium. The pericardium in Chinese medicine is not an important organ, but we will introduce briefly. But most of these symptoms or the functions of pericardium are associated to the heart. The orifice of heart is the tongue, and the function of the heart is housing the mind. So this is one of the most important functions of the heart. When you understand the heart's function, you need to remember 2 clauses. Firstly, the heart governs the blood and vessels. Secondly, the heart houses the mind. What does it mean by the heart governs the blood and vessels? So firstly, is the formation of the blood. This will relate to the theory or the thoughts where does blood come from the theory. So from Huangdi Neijing, the original text, it described as the qi, the middle jiao receive qi. So the middle jiao refer to the spleen and stomach, the food we eat, the nutrition, the grains, the water we eat, go to the middle jiao. The middle jiao, such as the spleen, receive the qi and then transform the qi, and then transfer the qi into the heart. The heart transform the qi into red color, and then we call it blood. So from the formation of the blood, you can see where does the blood come from? It's from qi. But what makes the qi into red color is the heart. So which means in Chinese medicine theory, the formation of the heart of blood need a function of the heart, especially the heat or the heart yang, the fire of the heart, the active parts of the heart transform the qi into red color, then we call it blood. So this that we will study blood in future as well. But from here, you just need to understand that the heart function governs the blood, mostly related to the formation of the blood, also the movement of the blood. The movement of the blood will require heart yin and heart yang. Both of heart yin and heart yang are in the category of heart qi. So this is similar to our previous discussion, the relationship between qi and yin and yang. So if you still remember the figure I gave you, it's the axons including the air from the environment transform into qi, and qi can separate to yin and yang. So heart qi can separate to yin qi, heart yin and heart yang, which means the active parts of the qi in the heart, you call it heart yang. The static or the quieter parts of the qi, we call it heart yin. For the blood, the formation of the blood, also we need heart yang to transform the qi into red color. For the movement of the blood, we need both, because heart yang are the force to push the blood moving forwards. So because it's active, if you have heart yang deficiency, patient may suffer from poor circulation, or we say blood stasics, because the pushing function, the force, the active function is deficient. And heart yin is the physical blood. So in a simpler way, you can try to understand heart yin and heart yang into the liquids and the force to move the liquids. Sometimes you may say, why we need a force to move the liquid? For example, the water, when you have water, the water will flow from the top to the bottom. But why? On the ground, we can see all this, but you see when you go to space, and these are the examples I gave you. If you go to the space, see the images, you see the water does not move. For example, here, when they squeeze the water in a tower, the water stays around the tower, it doesn't move because there's no gravity. So in this way, you can understand the relationship between the water and gravity. What makes water to move is gravity. So, but gravity is invisible, we can't see the gravity. But that's the yang part. Yang part is invisible. Heart yin. So it's very similar to the water and the gravity, the relationship you can understand for the heart yin and yang. So that's the blood. In order for the blood to move, you need the balance between heart yang to push and heart yin, the physical heart. So which means in future when you see a patient with anemia, patient suffer from headache, dizziness, and then you diagnose that this patient may have anemia, or even from a blood test, you can see the patient have anemia. Then the treatment, apart from the spleen, the kidney, don't forget the heart, because the heart is the organ which transform the qi into red color that result in blood. So that's the meaning of the heart governs the blood, including the formation of the blood, also the movement of the blood. Also the second one is the heart governs the vessels. When we say the heart governs the vessels, we need to understand from the other perspective, what are vessels? So still based back to Huangdi Neijing, it describes that the vessels is something that they limits the movement of yin qi. Yin qi is the nutrition qi. So the qi we separate into peteral qi, and when you study in the next session for the theory of blood and qi, we will describe this in detail as well. For now, you just need to remember it's another type of qi, or another type of function of qi. Nutrition qi. These qi have a lot of nutrition that benefit the body. So in Huangdi Neijing, it described that there's something that limits the movements of the nutrient qi and ensure the smooth flow of the qi in somewhere. This is called vessels. So you can understand from here, if you just slow down the critical thinking, is something limits the the nutrient qi into a space or tube, a space, and then we call vessels. So in the phenomena, you can understand in this way. For example, if you put the water in like a hose pipe or in a pipe, so you see the pipe, you understand the function of a hose pipe is to limit the water and ensure the water going to move within the pipe. And also you need to ensure the smooth flow of the water in the hose pipe. Then we call this hose pipe the vessel. So these are how we understand the vessels and qi, which means the poor circulation. We still focus on the heart. So when in future patients suffer from blood deficiency, suffer from poor circulation, suffer from blood statistics, when you focus on liver or other organs, but don't forget heart, because the heart governs the blood and vessels. So these are the key functions of heart. And also the entire system of the blood circulation is the balance or the mutual assistance among the heart, the blood and the vessels. The second function of the heart is that the heart houses the mind, and in other textbooks you may see that sometimes they translate into the heart houses the spirit. Both of them are correct. The reason why I changed to minds on purpose is because I don't want you to misunderstand that Chinese medicine involved in religion involved in spirit. Because when you translate, the heart houses the spirit. In the original text in Chinese medicine, we actually, even in Chinese language, we refer to the mind. We refer to the psychological process of human being instead of the religion perspective of spirit. So just to avoid the misunderstanding, we change it into mind. This will, if you understand the mind, then you will see in future when we see patients with insomnia, you see patients with someone they think a lot, anxiety, stress. We don't only focus on liver, don't forget the heart. Or sometimes patients feel fear. They feel afraid of something, but when you ask them what do you really afraid of, they can't tell you, but they feel like the heart is empty and they feel like fearful. In this way, don't forget the heart, because the heart houses the mind. These also will affect the relationship or to indicate the future treatments when patients suffer from emotional or mental disorder. You can focus on liver, but don't forget the heart, because the heart houses the mind. And when you see these, among the 5 organs, the heart is the emperor. So when you think the relationship among the 5 organs from the society, you can see the heart is the emperor. The heart is the top and the most important organ of the emperor. There are also some arguments or some debates, rather than arguments, some debates in the heart houses the mind, because nowadays the modern science or conventional medicine, they believe the mind or the thoughts actually in the brain. So we got different theories, different schools of theories that does the brain houses the mind or the heart houses the mind. So because our program is entry level, so we don't need to discuss in detail or to clarify the relationship, because there's still a lot of debates on these. But just because of the development of the theory, also the development of Chinese medicine, we change the original theory from the heart, and sometimes we also agree that the mind is also in the brain. But this won't affect your treatments, because in the end your treatments is still based back to the heart. And another reason is because there are no treatments that's specific for the brain, but we rather focus on the heart, because the entire pathological system or physiological system of human body based on the five Zang organs. And when I say these, just because of modern science or conventional medicine, they explain in this way, doesn't mean we don't have evidence, but we just need to have more persuasive way to explain these theory, because we can see the phenomenon. For example, South Africa, we have the first heart transplants in South Africa, in Cape Town. But see, when you search the news, you will see that some patients, after the heart transplant, the personality change. Someone may be very quiet, very well behaved, and after the heart transplant, they may enjoy go to the bar, smoking, etc. So you see, but when they investigate the changes of these patients, they will see the donor of the heart was a young kids, always go to the bars, go to the nightlife. It's very she enjoyed the nightlife. So you see, you can see a lot of examples of these. The heart actually change your personality, but we actually believe it's the brain that have all these personalities. But not why after the heart transplant, the personality will change. So these are just some of the facts or some of the phenomena that we can see. These won't affect your treatments or your understanding of the theory. So we're not going to expand more in this debate, but just from the theory point of view, you need to remember that the heart governs the blood and the vessels. The heart houses the mind. And the functions of the heart is the balance or the mutual assistance among these heart qi, heart yin, and heart yang. The heart houses the mind. In a broad sense, it's the outward appearance of vital activities of the whole body. In a narrow sense, refer to consciousness, including thoughts and emotion. That's why it says, if the patient thinks too much, the heart and the liver. If the patient have insomnia, if the patient, when they sleep, they have nightmare or they dreams a lot, the heart. Now you need to further investigate if the heart yin, the heart yang, or the heart spirit or heart shen. Okay. So these are something you need to consider. The characteristic of heart. The heart is a yang organ, which means yang organ, the dominant function is active. This also can be seen from the facts that the heart always moves, they never stop. This is the original writing of hearts in the past, so the traditional Chinese character. Nowadays, we also don't write in this way because it's in the process of the development. This was the character we use about 2,000 years ago. So you can see that it's similar to a drawing to the physical heart. These are the shapes of the hearts, and these have the vessels and separate the hearts into different rooms. So just the drawing. Also from this drawing is also similar to the flame. And if you know Chinese character, the formation of Chinese character more, I also explain in some of the history. That's for example the moon. We draw the moon first, and in the end keep developing until today how we write the words, the character of moon. So this is also the drawing. It's similar to fire, the flame. That's also, we believe that the heart function is a yang organ. It need to be more active. So that's one of the characteristics, is a yang organ. And in terms of the emotion, joy is the emotion of the heart. Sweat is the body fluids of the heart. blood vessels as the body contours of the heart, and tongue is the orifice of the heart, and the heart corresponds to summer. And this is because heart is relevant to fire, summer also relevant to fire from the five element theory. And when you understand this relationship, you can see in future someone suffer from sweat disorder. Either they sweat too much or they don't sweat, they don't feel comfortable. No, excluding all other possible reasons or other treatments, when you perform the treatments, don't forget the heart. You need to regulate the heart, because the heart is where the sweat comes from. And this also links back to one of the theory in future. When you study the theory of the blood and body fluid, you see the sweat and the blood have the same origin. So which means it comes from the same origin, just because of the difference. In different colors. One is clear, the other one is a red color. So from the theory, we think the blood and the sweat are from the same source. Some other treatments you can see the evidence from these is, for example, fever. In Chinese medicine, even in acupuncture, when you treat patients suffer from fever, when you reduce the fever, one of our approach is to cause sweating, because when you sweat, after sweating, you can reduce the body temperature. That's how we treat fever. This is not all approaches, but only one of the approaches, one of the most common approaches we treat fever. But if you don't cause sweat, for example, sometimes the high-grade fever, if a patient have nose bleeding, that still can reduce the heat. Okay, so in this way you can see you can either induce bleeding or induce sweating to treat fever. These are also one of the example how we use these theory to treat diseases from these basic theories. How to apply this into our daily practice. And you can see pericardium we write as an appendix. The reason because we don't have a specific treatments relevant to pericardium. We also don't have specific functions of pericardium, but rather we use as a supporting organ for the heart. This is related to the thoughts. For example, when we say the heart have problems, and then we always say it's the pericardium. It's just the way of thinking or the habits of explaining. Because in the end, when we treat pericardium, we still treat the heart. Because it's a yang organ. So if the heart is the yang is reduced or does not have sufficient yang, then the heart will have dampness, or even the phlegm go to the heart and cause the blockage of the heart vessels. The patient may have chest tightness, chest pain, or sometimes unconsciousness. You can see in this way, then we cause the phlegm or the dampness mix or covers affecting the pericardium instead of the heart. But in the treatment, we still treat the heart. The reason because this is because we think the relationship among the organs, the heart is the emperor, or similar to nowadays the society in our modern society, the heart is the president of the country, and then we believe the president will never make mistakes. So when they have mistakes, we blame the ministers. So the pericardium is similar to the ministers that protect the heart. Okay, when they have something affecting the heart, it is affecting the pericardium, just from habit point of view. Because if you say that's the phlegm or dampness affecting the heart, you make it more serious, more critical. So for pericardium, you don't need to focus too much, because the functions are overlapping, the treatments also overlapping. But because these two are so close to each other, In future, when you treat the heart disease, you also can treat from pericardium point of, you can treat either from the heart meridian or pericardial meridians, or combine both. So you can treat diseases from both meridians. This also give you a supplementary ways to treat the heart disease. So for the heart, you need to remember two. The heart governs the blood and vessels. The heart houses the mind. And then afterwards, you need to understand what does it mean. The govern the blood, the formation of the blood, the movement of the blood, and the govern the vessels, ensure the free flow of blood in the vessels. And the heart houses the mind. Okay. Thank you guys. And in the next video, we are going to introduce the lung.